Okay, making my way to the boss, there's an enemy type that just showed up that we didn't see before. One of only two that we didn't see in our first trek through this floor. So, this is the Haughty Maya.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
And, yeah, obviously Emperor Arcana, because that makes sense with what it's called. And let's see if we can get the scan through. As you can tell by some of them being distressed, they're fairly weak enemies. No weak to ice, though.
It's weak against Garu skills.
But they are weak to wind, and yeah, Zionga and Bufudine, they're not all that strong.
Metis defeated an enemy.
And yeah, yet nothing being weak to wind means yet nothing that Norn destroys.
2 enemies left.
I'm very glad that I fused Norn here.
I couldn't finish it off.
I kind of want to save the SP for the boss, but you know what? Why not?
2 more enemies to go. Persona!
And boom! I just noticed that Norn's clock goes to 4 every time it attacks, and 4 meaning death in Japanese culture. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, and that was a boost to endurance on Norn, so that'll be useful. Titania wants to have something happen to Agilao. I do have Cert now, so I don't really need Titania for quad elements anymore. Let's go for it. That's really not bad. You now have no weaknesses, regardless what accessory I have equipped. That's amazing. I still really love this music. It reminds me of some of the later dungeon themes in Persona Q, actually. So anyway, I'm here at the boss floor, and I'm going to be using the same party I did to get through this area, because Akihiko can hit one of the boss's weakness, and Mitsuru can hit the other boss's weakness. Unfortunately, the main boss has fire attacks to hit Mitsuru's weakness, and I don't have any fire protecting accessories. If I'd been lucky enough to get Cert's heart item, I would definitely be giving it to Mitsuru now, because that really helps, especially since the main boss can use Vile Assault, so if she gets knocked down, the boss can follow it up with that and probably instantly knock her out. Metis, because I don't know, Metis isn't weak to anything the boss does, and Metis is going to be fairly effective here. So, I think I'm ready. I have 2 real options for who to lead with, either Thor or Melchizedek. Both have Auto Mataru, but Melchizedek also has Counter Strike, which could be effective here. However, one of the bosses is weak to electricity, so Thor's good for that. It depends. I'll try out Thor first, and if that doesn't go well, I'll switch over to Melchizedek. Let's head in there. It's boss time. This boss has a specific strategy that you want to use for it. If you know the strategy, it's really not that bad. Actually, that thing looks pretty awesome. It has a pretty unfitting name, though, for how it looks. So here we have the Slaughter Drives. I'm pretty sure these things show up in Persona Q, and the Spastic Turrets. Kind of a weird name for something that has an awesome fire color scheme, but anyway. So I want to scan the Slaughter Drive first. My strategy for this fight is going to be making use of the Assign Target command to make everyone focus down on one Slaughter Drive first, then the Spastic Turret, and then finally the last Slaughter Drive. So, the turret can summon more Slaughter Drives, but only if there are none currently on the field. So if we leave one of them alive, it'll never summon, and we don't have to worry about infinite reinforcements. These things also go down pretty easily. They're weak to electricity, and they don't have a lot of health. They do hit very hard with slash attacks, though. And the Spastic Turret uses some powerful fire skills. And like I said, if it hits Mitsuru with a knockdown, it'll probably use Vile Assault on her, and that's really bad, and this could have dodged because they have... Yep, they have Evade Elec, because of course they do. Okay, abrupt cut here, because in the footage where I recorded my successful attempt of this, I said the wrong things for the Slaughter Drive. I was looking at the journey stats and skills and not for the answer. As a boss and the answer, they're a little bit different. So I originally thought they had neutral to everything except their weakness, electricity. Actually, no. In the answer, they're weak to electricity still, but they absorb nearly everything else. So definitely only use electric skills on them. They also have Evade Elect, which is very irritating. They have a really powerful Deathbound. They also have Magikoopa, which I've never seen them use before, but if they do, it could be really, really bad. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They are quite weak in terms of overall HP, so you can kill them quickly, but if you do that, the boss will just summon more, so I like to leave one of them and then finish the boss off. It's tempting to get rid of both of them first, but in reality, if you get rid of both of them, it'll just summon more, so getting rid of one is your best option. Now Mitsuru, I will really want her attacking the boss once she gets the chance, because the main boss anyway, because it is weak to ice. And these things thankfully aren't immune to Garudyne. And now we have you moving. Okay, good. It's going after Mitsuru. That's actually very, very lucky. Unfortunately, one of the drives going second is less lucky.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the
So let's
target.
go ahead and scan you. And I'll continue to focus. I probably should be focusing down on the one that's going second, but oh well. I'm not getting very lucky with that, though. Yeah, Torrent Shot is the least of our problems, so I'm glad you're going for that. Why are you using multi-targeting attacks when I'm telling you to focus on one enemy? So anyway, this Spastic Turret is weak to ice. It uses fire attacks, but it actually has a pretty low magic stat, so they don't hit as hard as they really could. It's got a lot of strength, but it doesn't have many physical attacks. So that's kind of weird. Its main threat, though, is that it can summon more of these drives. I really hope my thing didn't just cut out there, because it looked like it did on my screen for a second. And anyway, we'll just continue to focus down on this thing, even though I cannot hit it with Zero Dyne at all.
I thought that would do it.
And there's Magikoopa. Unfortunately means Mitsuru has to sit the next turn out. Here's where, I forget what that, Ray Patra, or whatever that skill is that gets you up from knockdown would actually be kind of helpful. I'm glad the Slaughter Drive that's moving second is down, though. But I'm wondering if I should actually heal this turn instead of attacking. You know what? I'm going to go to Melchizedek, because you have a 50% chance of repelling physical attacks as well. I don't know why nobody's high counter is triggered yet, because I've certainly got hit with a lot of physical moves. Melchizedek away! I'm going to be using Melchizedek's healing a lot here. I'm kind of okay with you doing that, but I won't be so double evade elect, really. And there's Deathbound. At least that didn't crit Aegis, but critting Akihiko is equally bad at this point.
I failed to finish it off.
Okay, let's hopefully not fail to finish it off soon. Because 2 Slaughter Drives is bad, 1 is bad enough, but 2's even worse. I kind of had a feeling you'd do that. And our attack is reverted. Okay, so what to do here? One of them is going next. I probably have to go back to Thor and attempt to Zero Dyne them both. Which is going to be kind of bad because you'll probably dodge evade elect on this. Okay, good you didn't. Leaving you down, hopefully... Good, we actually hit both of them.
The enemy is down. Now's your chance. You've improved.
And I'm going to be using my I can't switch personas. Dang it. Okay, so I will instead use my one more to... How many B chains do I have? I don't seem... Okay, actually I've got a lot of them. Okay, that's fine. Only one attack mirror, though. That's unfortunate. If I had more of those, I could be spamming them against the Deathbound and getting some damage in on the boss that way. Yeah, I don't really consider the Slaughter Drives part of the boss. They're more like just extra mooks that the boss is summoning.
I've regained my honor.
Unfortunately, the enemy has 2, but it won't last long. And there goes our attack buff. Not quite down yet, but Meta should get rid of it. And it's down. Okay, great. Oh no. Oh, there's no way I can tell Mitsuru to guard for that or anything like that, so I just have to resign myself to the fact that Mitsuru's probably going down this turn, unless Metis goes before it, Mitsuru goes before it, okay.
Leave it to me.
And Metis, just in case Mitsuru misses, you're going to go on knockdown as well.
Understood.
And at the moment, I don't want Akihiko killing off that remaining drive, so Akihiko's just going to go on heal/support. I want at least someone healing, because if I have everyone on assigned target, nobody's going to heal, and that could end pretty badly. Let's see, what do I do here? I might as well try for this. I may even need to use an SP restoring item later on.
That's it. The enemy is down.
Okay, leaving you down, and going for... I think Melchizedek should be fine. The thing about Melchizedek is that I fused Invigorate onto him. Maybe I could try a Sutra here. I do want that boss to go down as quickly as possible, but I want to go for a Protection Sutra. Especially since a Mind Charge attack is coming, even though this is probably not going to help Mitsuru survive, unless, like I said, she knocks the boss down, although it will still have its Mind Charge. Glad for that attack drop from Akihiko, though. Yeah, Mind Charge isn't just a one-turn thing. It lasts until you next use a magical attack. Oh, and that's why I put Metis on knockdown as well. Of course, they could both miss. But my insurance policy is I am defense buffed and it is debuffed. Oh, great. Yeah, that's going to mean that you attack this thing, which is not good. Okay, you didn't get to attack, thankfully. Right. This is kind of bad at this point. I'm going to go Mitsuru assign target on that, and Metis assign target. I mean, there's always the chance that if it does summon another drive, it won't be going second, which at least is good. I really should have taken out that drive first. I was kind of dumb like that. But let's see. Let's just keep attacking this thing. I just want it to die, but unfortunately it's got a lot of health, and there's Deathbound. Okay, got very lucky with Mitsuru and I just dodging that. And defense down is good too. Akihiko hasn't learned the full party agility down yet. Why are you using my Buffalo though?
Ice is ineffective.
See, I don't get why your party members will sometimes use multi-targeting attacks if you do assign target. That's pretty much the exact opposite of what assign target is supposed to do. Also, I like that photobombing slaughter drive there. Yeah, we are barely making a dent in that thing, and that's Mind Charge, so... Okay, that didn't do as much as I thought, but then again, we are defense buffed, and it is defense, and it is attack dropped, so that should be pretty reasonable. It's tempting to switch to Titania and just use some Buffalas on it, but nah, I just want to keep attacking. I think I'm fine health-wise for the moment. Akihiko will start healing soon. Torrent Shot is fine. And please be going for the turret. Yes, you are. That's great, even though it probably won't help so much, because enemies seem to be fairly accurate on this mode. Why do you do that? I mean, at the very least, it's actually healing the thing that I don't want to die, so it ensures that she won't... But why isn't she just spamming Bufudyne on the turret? That's my main source of damage. I just wanted to be doing that. Maybe no, I shouldn't put her on Act Freely, because if I do, then she'll probably Marin Karen. Okay, what are you going for? Mind Charge again. Okay. And our defenses are coming back. That's also not good. See, I want to do something to make her use Bufudyne, but if I put her on Act Freely, she's gonna be using Marin Karen and healing and things I want her to do, and if I put her on Knockdown, she'll attack the other thing. I might as well put her on Knockdown because she moves before Metis anyway, so it's unlikely that it'll be down before she gets her turn. Come on, okay, that's not good attacking Mitsuru, but it missed. Yeah, I thought you'd just go for Super Winder on the other thing. This isn't the most useful, but I'll take it. Okay, now please use Bufudyne. Thank you! Even though it's probably going to evade ice. Thought so. Yeah, that is... Well, I mean, apart from what the answer does to Yukari's character, that is my biggest issue with the answer. Just how much all the bosses have dodge or evade skills for their weaknesses. It just adds more luck to the game. It doesn't make it any harder for legitimate reasons. It's just like, oh yeah, we have a greater chance of randomly evading things. That was my charge.
Akihiko-senpai is in trouble!
Well, I know what I'm using now.
I'm worried about Akihiko-senpai.
Don't worry much longer, Meteorahan time. Melchizedek away! That just looks like a superhero pose whenever he uses something, so that's what I'm going to call that. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, I was hoping it wouldn't crit. I guess that could be really terrible. At least he's putting the attack debuff back on them. Well, hopefully, but it might evade ice again. No, it didn't. Good.
Good call.
Don't really want her killing that thing, but it's probably fine.
It's a tough one.
Okay, Vile Assault without a knockdown. That's fine by me. And I guess has to sit this turn out because she got knocked down. That's not good. Okay, at least you went for Torrent Shot and not on the Deathbound, which would have been really terrible. And thank you for healing Mitsuru, I could really use that. I wanted to give some random trivia about this boss's name, but this fight is getting so intense that I don't really have much time to, but dang it, evade ice. But anyway, I guess I could just start now. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this thing's name was in Japanese, but the translators chose a word for it that means something very different in American English than it does in British English. In American English, spastic is just a term, well, it was generally a slang term for, like, hyperactive or clumsy, but in British English, it's considered an extremely vulgar slur for people with cerebral palsy, and that's caused a few issues when it comes to a few games getting exported over there. Most hilariously, at least to me, Mario Party 8, which had a minigame that involved the line, Magikoopa Magic, turn the train spastic. Yeah, that would not have flown well in the UK, so they changed to erratic there, I believe. But it reminds me of how Super Mario RPG, the original release of it, which the only reason nobody realized is because it didn't get released in Europe for ages, but it had Bugger in it, which for those who, like, there's a lot of people who don't seem to realize, but Bugger is... Okay, that could be really painful. It's a much stronger swear in British English than most people think it is. Like, I'll just say that much. It is, like, a lot of Americans seem to think, oh, that's just the thing that British people say when they're angry. No, it's not. It's actually very, very strong swearing over there. But then there's some other things that are the reverse, like apparently a lot of... I think people are better about it now, but I heard that a lot of amateur Harry Potter writers often used to think that it was extremely strong swearing in British English when it's the exact opposite. It's roughly the equivalent of doo-doo head. It's incredibly mild. And that caused hilarity when some fanfics would use... would have characters say things like effing gits, which in an attempt to sound incredibly angry or in an attempt to really offend someone, but no, really no. That's like the equivalent of calling someone an effing stupid head. But yeah, it is interesting the differences in certain terms in British, American, even Australian English is all different. Australian is an interesting variant of English because we've borrowed slang from both British and American and also have some of our own, so it can get a little bit confusing sometimes. I think I need to use an SP healing item. Where am I? I do have that. That could be a last resort. Snuff Soul. I don't feel the need to go for a Precious Egg here, although this is only 50 SP, isn't it? Yeah, because Chewing Soul is the 100 variant. Oh no, please don't use Death Bound! Oh, at least it didn't crit Igus. And Akihiko is doing more healing and less debuffing. But yeah, like, a lot of our Australian English comes from British. Like, for example, we say tap and not faucet, and many other things like that. But we've borrowed a lot of American slang as well. And some British English terms we don't use. Like, for example, in Britain they call, like, here we say... Actually, wait... So here we say chips for both what Americans would call fries and what British people would call chips. We use it for both that and packets of potato chips, which in British English are called crisps. But you don't hear that term used very often here. It's generally just chips for both. We don't use the term fries very often either, unless it's a restaurant that's deliberately trying to sound American. Because I did find a restaurant once that was trying to emulate a traditional American diner. Well, it's almost down to half, that's good.
Such persistence.
Yes, boss bashing combined with language trivia. Kinda weird, but it's what I got here.
Thought that would do it.
Don't do anything bad, please. Argydyne on... that's fine. Even though, yeah, that was definitely mind charged. He's probably gonna heal instead of, debuff, and I don't really like that, but... How many more sutras do I have? Only one of each. Kinda wanna go for another one of these, because I feel like I'm on a fairly decent run here, and I wouldn't want these to... Oh no, did I just use that at the really wrong time? It looks like it missed someone, and that would mean that...
Use this.
Why did you do that? That was dumb. Actually, I think I did use it at the right time, which is good. But anyway, I think I've run into some issues with Australian English as well in terms of my YouTube stuff, because I used to say bastard quite a lot in my videos. That's actually very, very mild swearing in Australian English. I'm not sure, I think in America it's a bit more offensive. In British, I'm not entirely sure, but in Australia, it's very mild. It's so mild that it's often used as just a general term for person. Yeah, like it's often a term of endearment.
Nice timing. Nice try.
Meanwhile, bloody is, I think, kind of moderate in British English. It's pretty mild in Australia. From my experience, almost all swearing apart from the S, F, and C words are all incredibly mild in Australia, so yeah.
The enemy's down. Let's finish this.
Not often we get an opportunity like this, and in fact, I probably could have gone for this earlier if I'd gone for Zeodynes on one of them, and then, oh no, that was actually terrible, I shouldn't have done that. And then Buffalo on this thing. But if this hits, I could get another all-out attack. If we can finish it off before it summons...
All right, sister.
Yeah.
Get him.
It's always weird when suddenly partway through a battle it just hits you. Oh, I could have actually used a completely different tactic and maybe that would have made things go faster. Oh, don't summon. Please don't summon. Please don't summon. Please don't summon. Please don't summon. Please. Yeah, it's summoning. Dang it. Well, at least the turrets aren't too hard to kill. And it's going 5th. Okay, that's great. I'm a little low on SP, though. Because what I would really like is... Let's change tactics. Let's instead go for... You go knockdown.
Try that.
Understood.
Everyone on knockdown, and let's just go for all-out attack spam. That sounds good to me. In fact, I think I have a Buffalo gem. Let's just try that.
Take this. That's the way. Good one.
And, I suppose I can switch to Thor and go for a Zeodyne. Yeah, I feel dumb now. I probably should have gone for all-out attacks earlier, but it's always risky when the enemies have evade skills.
That's it. The
And again,
enemy
I
is
didn't want to
down.
kill the Slaughter Drive too quickly. Now that I'm at this low HP on the turret, it's probably fine because once the turret goes down, don't need to worry about summoning more things.
Nice, Akihiko.
Okay, good. Leave that thing down. That is excellent because if Mitsuru hits with this,
This is no longer just art.
and she did, that should be fight over.
The enemy's down. Let's finish this.
Let's.
You'll fall by
Mitsuru's quote is very apt here. And that quote's also apt. Hopefully they both fall by my hand. Yes, they did.
my will is unfailing.
So, that was pretty good, and... Oh, okay, so putting Mitsuru in that costume means she uses her old animation, I guess? Infernal Armor is an awesome name for something. Unfortunately, it's not an actual piece of armor, it's just an item that you can sell. Sounds like some kind of very, very high-tier armor in an RPG. Nice multi-level up there. And Akasha Arts is pretty good to have. Okay, you don't have high counter, you just have counter strike. I forget if you learn high counter naturally. I seem to feel like you do, but... You know what? I already have high counter on Thor. Let's do this. Mahama on. Huh. That's interesting because you learned that naturally in vanilla Persona 3, but they changed it in FES to make you more focused on strike attacks. Which is probably a good thing, since Daisojo does Hammer skills better than you anyway. So it at least gives Melchizedek a bit of a niche. And with that, we've defeated a boss. Unfortunately, that took a little long, so I don't think I'll be able to fit the next area into this part. So this is going to be a boss-only part. I could try and go to the Velvet Room, I suppose, or see what's available. I already went and did a shopping trip off camera, though, before I got to the boss. There's one more enemy that I didn't show in that last area, which is, I'm not used to going back to the Desert of Doors from this angle, but it's a giant. That's the only enemy that we haven't seen yet. So, let's just quickly check out the Velvet Room, even though I don't think there's anything that I can really fuse. Chernobog would have been great for that fight, because Chernobog is immune to Slash, but things worked out differently. I ended up getting a Lilith, who I have never used yet, and maybe Lilith wasn't a good idea. Because she's kind of niche. She only seems to be useful for nulling, although I like Null Charm. Let's see, I'm one level off of Seth. And you with Sexy Dance, that's interesting. Archidyne, Mararchidyne, Fire Amp. It's alright, but Cert eventually gets Ragnarok. Let's see if I can make anything out of... I want Siegfried, but I don't want to give up Norn. Because, like, Siegfried is pretty great as well, but Norn is kind of amazing. And Norn eventually learns both Regenerate 3 and Invigorate 3, which makes Norn an excellent utility persona just to have on you. Anything out of Kormokuten? Not really. How about Titania and these two? That's not bad. I could also go for Arahabaki. Oh, but I don't want to give up. Okay. Any other way that I can get Odin? I really want Odin. Certain Norn, nope. Melchizedek and Yaxini. No, I don't want to get rid of you before you get your heart item, because that's going to be great for Koromaru. So I could get Alice this way. I said before that Alice only starts with Evil Touch and Spirit Drain, so not a very good starting skill set, which made me not really want to consider Alice in the answer as compared to the Journey. However, if I fuse some good skills onto you... No, I don't want to give up. Alternatively, I could get Arahabaki, who has quite a few weaknesses. But you do have Otomaraku. You're fairly decent defensively. I know that you eventually learn Null Strike to get rid of that strike weakness. resist elec, although you already resist that. That's not really that good to pass down. I could get some elemental skills onto Alice. Okay, that's 2 elements and resist elec. The problem is that I want growth too. Mazio, resist elec. No, I already have Thor for Zeo attacks, and I'll eventually be getting Odin. 2 elements, growth 2, and no sexy dance, because seriously, that's really disturbing. I'll take that. Said I wasn't going to get Alice, but guess I'm going to do that anyway. And yeah, Alice has a unique line when being summoned, because she's a pretty iconic persona slash demon of the series. And I'm glad that you got growth too, because that'll mean you get die for me faster, and that's really the main thing that I would want on you. Marakuunda's not bad either. For now though, I think that's all I'm going to do here. Doesn't look like there's much else that I can really... Unless Alice can make Odin. Let me just quickly check. Should mention that you don't need all of the death personas to get Thanatos in the answer. Every persona that was previously a special recipe, you can just fuse normally. You still need Thanatos and, you still need Thanatos and Orpheus to fuse Messiah, though. Yes, Messiah is available in the answer, but the final boss is only level 80 and Messiah is level 90, so that's kind of overkill. If I ever do get Igus level 90, though, I'll consider it. Orpheus can be picked up in Shuffle Time in the early parts of the Abyss of Time, so getting Messiah is definitely doable. So with that, that's one boss down, a little bit of fusion done, and I will see you for the next area next time.